Hi everyone. Today I wanted to speak to you a little bit about the power of words and how at this time it's so important that we become aware of the words we use, or at least be curious of why we use them and how often we use them. I'm a recovering talkaholic, I would say, to a degree. I used to be quite chatty when I was little, and I love people and I love talking to people. And I can be more of an extrovert than an introvert. And I grew up with a parent that was quite talkative, my mother, and my father, who, like many men, spoke very little. And I learned from both examples the benefits of being one way versus the other way, depending on the time and depending on the need. But over the years, especially through my training and my practice as a physician, I learned how important our words are in creating the reality that we hope to experience for ourselves individually and collectively. I'll give you an example. When I started my wellness journey personally, I saw that I was transforming in every single which way. I was transforming in my body, in my mind, in the way I was experiencing my emotions, and therefore the way I was experiencing life and other people. In medicine, we use the words to learn about treating people through pathology. So the words that we learn are about disease. So we learn about high cholesterol, high blood pressure, the aging process, depression, anxiety. As I was getting healthier, I wasn't feeling those things anymore. I wasn't feeling pathology. I was feeling all kinds of wonderful things like great energy, creativity. My genius was coming out. Some may question that, but it was coming out. It is coming out. My inspiration, periods of bliss, greater love, more compassion, more forgiveness, more understanding. And I started becoming, as that was happening within me, I started becoming more aware of those qualities in other people. Because, again, you go into med school. I went into med school around 24. And you're still young. Your thoughts and the way that you're thinking are still being formed. And you're going in there and learning about all the things that are wrong with people. And so you start really looking and fishing for what's wrong. So it's the idea that, you're driving, and if you love a certain kind of car, you're going to notice those cars, obviously, more than the kinds that you don't like. So our words are that powerful. They actually create a reality within our own mind, and they create a reality within our external world, because they tell us what is possible. So rather than using the words of, let's say, what was going wrong, so pain, high blood pressure, anxiety, depression, as my wellness journey continued and I started using what I was learning with my patients, with people that I was working with, I started realizing that I wanted them to start exploring the idea of what if they were to experience themselves outside of those words of pathology, but through the words of potentiality or health or well-being. So somebody who would come in and would say, I have or I am a diabetic, I would say, well, why don't we look at the fact that your blood sugar is high? You have a condition called diabetes, but you aren't diabetes. So I am a diabetic is not the truth. You are a person. You have the condition of diabetes, which is high blood sugar. And let's look at the option that could normalize. And I started actually using that language in communication with my patients, using that language in my charts. And then as we were developing our program and training my team members, using that language within our team members. So the person who came in, and if before I would write in as one of their diagnoses obesity, and that was their goal, to reduce their weight, instead of using obesity, which, we could see that they're overweight, all the parameters were there, all the data was there, their goal would be worded in the sense of optimizing weight. So one would be calling somebody obese, overweight. That could be the case. But the other one would be, how can I optimize my weight? How can I be at a weight where I feel healthy and I am healthy? So a little bit of a different perspective. So with cases, for example, of depression and anxiety, instead of focusing on the depression and anxiety, we would rate the mood or the anxiety and say, well, we want to optimize our mood. We want to be in state of calm. So it's just using the words that we want and stating those words rather than focusing on the things that are off or that are not right in the current moment. Because again, if we use those words that are our truth, our potential, which is health and well-being, that's our fastest way of creating that in reality for ourselves and for other people. Another example that is really important to me is anything to do with anti. So whenever you say, for example, anti-aging in my world, anti-aging, I don't like the term because we're not trying to fight aging. We're all going to age. We're the years are passing. What we want to say that we're aging with vitality. We're aging with energy. We're aging youthfully. So again, being really mindful of the word anti, you're going against something. And so do we really want to use those words and that idea, or do we want to use the language of what we're trying to create, which we're trying to create a population that is getting, has energy, is more youthful, is more vibrant, regardless of the fact that they're actually aging chronologically. So another example that we can use is when we're talking about things that we enjoy or we don't like, focusing more on the things that we enjoy. So for example, I do not like the word hate very much because you're focusing on something that is displeasing or you don't like. It's much better to say, I prefer or I like to, have my meals vegetarian rather than using the word I hate meat or I hate to have animal protein, for example. It's not the best example, but my message to you today is really be mindful and aware of the words that you use, both for yourself in the way you're framing what you want to achieve in your life and what you want to experience, and also in how you are perceiving others and life around you, because our words have great power, and any words that are creating division between people, creating more animosity, creating more the illusion of separation or hatred are not going to be contributing to the world that we want to experience. And words that unite us, unite all aspects of ourselves within us, are going to contribute to a more peaceful, more harmonious life for all of us.